Imagine finding out your husband, the guy who's supposed to be your rock, your partner through thick and thin, is cheating on you with someone younger, someone who makes him feel alive in ways he claims you no longer do. And instead of blowing up everything in a fit of rage, screaming matches, or dramatic confrontations that could tear your family apart, you just sit back, take a deep breath, and let life handle it in its own mysterious way. That's exactly what happened to Sarah. A story so raw, so real, that by the end of it, you'll see why sometimes doing nothing isn't weakness. It's the smartest, most calculated move you could ever make. But hold on, because before we dive into the heart of it, ask yourself, have you ever been in a situation where revenge felt tempting, but patience paid off bigger? Stick with me, and you'll find out how Sarah's choice flipped the script entirely. Okay, so let's get into it. This is a real story from a woman named Sarah, who reached out to me after going through what can only be described as pure hell in her marriage. A hell that started small, but built into something that tested every fiber of her being. She was married to David, this big, burly hunter type, the kind of man who lived for the thrill of the outdoors, who absolutely loved showing off his prizes from the woods. Think mounted deer heads staring down from the walls like silent guardians, and antlers that he polished like they were made of pure gold, each one a trophy of his conquests. They had two kids, a boy and a girl, both still under 10, innocent little souls who idolized their parents. And Sarah genuinely thought they had a pretty normal everyday life in their quiet small town, the kind of place where neighbors waved from their porches, kids played outside until the streetlights flickered on, and life felt predictable, safe, almost idyllic. But one day, everything just flipped, like a storm rolling in without warning, when she found out David was seeing this other woman from his work. We're talking sneaky texts that popped up at odd hours, vibrating on the nightstand like little betrayals. Late nights he blamed on overtime at the garage, but Sarah knew better deep down. The whole heartbreaking mess that creeps up on you until it hits like a freight train. Sarah didn't scream or kick him out right away. No, that wasn't her style. She stuck it out for the kids, thinking maybe it was just a phase, a midlife crisis she could fix quietly without shattering their world. But as we'll see, and trust me, this is where it gets twisted. Things got way more complicated, with debts piling up like snow in a relentless blizzard, burying them deeper each month. Health issues hitting hard, unexpected, and unforgiven, and even David's prized hunting trophy vanishing in the chaos, a symbol of his pride crumbling just like their marriage. Stick around, because this isn't just drama for drama's sake. It's about how life can turn the tables without you lifting a finger, delivering a justice so poetic it leaves you wondering if karma really does keep score. Now, let's rewind a bit to understand how this big problem started simple but snowballed fast into something massive, something that would change everything. Sarah and David had been together since high school. You know, that classic story where you meet as awkward teens, fumbling through first dates, fall in love over shared lunches in the cafeteria, stolen kisses at school dances under twinkling lights, and think it'll last forever, that you're invincible as a couple. David was always the outdoors guy, rugged and hands-on, working as a mechanic during the week in a shop that smelled of oil and metal, the kind of place where grease stains were badges of honor. But weekends were all about hunting, deer, ducks, whatever was in season. He'd be out there at dawn, rifle in hand, chasing that adrenaline rush. His biggest pride was this massive buck he shot 5 years back, a 10-point deer with antlers spreading out like a crown, majestic and intimidating. He had it mounted on the wall in their living room, right above the TV, where it lorded over family movie nights. And he'd tell anyone who visited the whole story, eyes lighting up like a kid on Christmas. How he tracked it for hours in freezing rain, boots sinking deep into the mud with every step, heart pounding, until he took the perfect shot and dragged it back himself, miles through the wilderness. That trophy wasn't just decor, it was his badge of manhood, a symbol of him as the provider, the hunter-gatherer in a modern world. Sara didn't love hunting. The blood and guns weren't her thing at all. They made her uneasy, reminding her of fragility. But she supported him because it made him happy. And that kept the home smoother, the arguments fewer, the peace intact. Or so she thought. Their house was cozy, nothing fancy, just a 3-bedroom on the town's edge with a backyard where the kids played tag or built forts from sticks and old blankets, laughing until dusk. Sara worked part-time at a local diner, serving coffee and burgers to truckers with weary eyes and families on road trips, the steam from the grill mixing with chatter and clinking plates, while David brought in the main cash from fixing cars, his hands calloused from wrenches and engines. They weren't rich, but they got by, scraping together just enough. Bills paid on time, usually with a sigh of relief. Yearly lake vacations where they'd fish off a rickety dock, roast marshmallows over a campfire that crackled under starry skies, sharing stories and dreams. The kids, little Emma at 8, who loved drawing animals with her crayons scattered everywhere like colorful confetti, her sketches of deer and birds taped to the fridge. And Jack at 6, who followed Dad around with toy guns, pretending to hunt imaginary beasts in the yard, his giggles echoing. Sara did it all. School drop-offs in the morning rush, homework help, at the kitchen table with pencils flying, bedtime stories under soft lamplight, tucking them in with kisses and promises of tomorrow. She was the glue, the one holding it together, often wondering if anyone noticed how much she sacrificed. But then the cheating started. It wasn't sudden, like a bolt from the blue. Looking back, Sara saw the signs she missed, those little red flags waving in the wind. Late home from work. Shop busy, he'd mumble, avoiding her eyes. Phone buzzing oddly at dinner, him stepping out to answer with a forced casualness. One night, Sara couldn't sleep, tossing and turning as worries gnawed at her, and she checked his phone in the shower steam. The bathroom mirror fogged like her judgment. Messages from Lisa, his coworker, a name that now burned. Can't wait to see you, with hearts that stabbed like daggers. David's replies making her stomach drop, a nauseous wave crashing over her. Pictures too, intimate, undeniable, enough to know it was real, shattering the illusion in an instant. Sara felt the world crumble around her. How could this be after 12 years of building a life together? 2 kids who needed stability, all those promises whispered in the dark, the vows they took, the dreams they shared. Did they mean nothing now? She confronted him quietly that night, kids asleep in their rooms, dreaming innocently. David admitted it all, his voice cracking under the weight. Said it was a mistake, a foolish slip. Lisa was nothing serious, he claimed. Just excitement from their routine home life that had grown stale, he said, like an excuse wrapped in regret. Begged forgiveness on his knees, tears in his eyes, swore it'd stop, that he'd make it right. Sara wanted to believe him, clung to that hope like a lifeline. For Emma and Jack, those precious faces she couldn't bear to break. Divorce would wreck them, split custody battles in cold courtrooms, explaining Dad's absence over breakfast, the empty chair mocking her. So she endured, put on a brave face, smiled through the pain, cooked dinners with trembling hands, helped with homework while her mind raced, went to school events like nothing happened, waving at other parents with a mask of normalcy, but inside, it ate her alive, a slow poison. Nights crying in the bathroom, hot tears mixing with shower water, wondering if staying was dumb, if she was losing herself. Friends said leave, their advice sharp and urgent, but she thought of the kids seeing Dad only on weekends, or worse, him starting a new family with Lisa, erasing them. She'd wait, see if he changed, if redemption was possible, but deep down a voice whispered, what if life has its own plan? For months, Sara watched David act normal, or at least try, flowers sometimes appearing on the table like guilty offerings, more help with the dishes, his hands scrubbing as if washing away sins. But trust was gone, shattered like fragile glass. Caught him staring at his phone during dinner, eyes distant, excuses for outings that didn't add up, lame and transparent. He didn't stop, not really. Sara drove by the garage one afternoon, heart pounding, and saw them laughing in his truck, Lisa's hand on his arm. Hurt worse than the first discovery. Now, it wasn't just cheating, but lying, a double life woven with deceit. She felt trapped. The choice between being a single mom surviving on diner tips or enduring this misery. Kids noticed the tension, subtle, but there, Emma having nightmares, waking up crying for mommy, Jack growing quiet, his toy hunts forgotten. Sarah's challenge was immense: balance her pain, keep the family facade intact. She journaled details in a hidden notebook, like hunting trips disguised as overtime, forgotten anniversaries, but hidden phone calls that stung like slaps. Let's dive deeper into her days, those endless routines post-discovery, to really feel the weight of it. A typical morning, Sara up at 6, the alarm blaring like an unwelcome intruder, coffee brewing, the aroma filling the kitchen, but doing nothing to warm her soul, packing lunches with mechanical precision, ham sandwiches for the kids, wondering if David even noticed. David up next, a quick cheek kiss like normal, but it felt hollow now. Off to the garage, with a wave. She dropped the kids at school, big smile and wave, masking the storm inside. But on the drive to the diner, her mind racing. Why me? What did I do wrong? Questions swirling like leaves in the wind. At work, serving plates, the sizzle of burgers, a constant backdrop. Seeing happy couples triggered pangs, sharp and deep. Regular customer, Mrs. Thompson, noticed her down mood one day. Everything okay, dear? Sara brushed it off with family stuff, but inside she wanted to spill it all, to unburden her heart. Afternoons brought a brief escape, picking up the kids, their excited chatter a balm, homework at the table, pencil scratching, coloring with Emma, forests and animals coming to life on paper, a way to forget the mess for a moment, telling Jack hunting stories, the nice ones about adventure and nature, omitting Lisa's detours that tainted everything, evenings, dinner like spaghetti or roasted chicken, the family gathered. Talk kept surface level. Work fine, she'd ask, the trophy staring down from the wall, like a reminder of the better times when pride was shared, not divided. Endurance was hard, grinding her down. She lost weight, her clothes hanging loose. No sleep, eyes shadowed with exhaustion. Secret therapist in the next town, driving there with a knot in her stomach. You're strong for staying. Don't lose yourself in this, the counselor said. Sara nodded, but felt weak, broken. The problem grew, insidious. David spent lavishly on Lisa, clothes for dates, gas for secret drives. Bank account dipped dangerously, late bills stacking up like accusations. She'd confront him. You're imagining things, he'd snap, gaslighting her. But she knew the evidence mounting. The challenge intensified, their marriage crumbling like old plaster. But she pretended for the kids, plastering on smiles, read relationship books late at night, highlighter in hand, marking passages on forgiveness, on rebuilding trust, but nothing stuck, the words hollow against her reality. Now, let's explore how this developed further. Not over a week, but months, turning into a full year, each day layering on more strain. Sara endured, her resolve tested daily. Cracks showed like fractures in ice. David away more often. Longer hunting seasons that smelled of lies. Work trips that stretched suspiciously. The kids started asking, why is Dad gone so much? Innocent eyes wide. Sara deflected with, he's providing for us, but it killed her inside, the lie bitter on her tongue. One weekend, he bought a new rifle, expensive and shiny. "For hunting," he said casually. But the bill arrived, another hit to their finances. Dinners out, hotels booked under false pretenses, debt climbing up, suffocating. They'd argue quietly post-bedtime, voices hushed but venomous. "We can't go on like this forever," she'd whisper. He'd promised change, eyes averted, but he didn't, the cycle repeating like a bad dream. Then came the trophy twist, a moment that felt like fate intervening. It was a hunt-in weekend, but Sara knew it wasn't real. Another alibi. He left early, truck rumbling away. Sara, needing to keep busy, cleaned the house top to bottom, scrubbing away the invisible stains of betrayal. Dusted the living room with furious energy, moved furniture to vacuum underneath. The trophy was heavy on its plaque, a beast of a thing. As she wiped behind it, the nail gave way. Old house, weak walls, and it crashed down with a thunderous boom. Antlers cracked on the floor, splintering like her heart, broke into pieces. She stared, heart pounding in her chest. Was it an accident? Maybe. Or maybe a sign from the universe. Relief washed over her, unexpected and sweet. David's prize gone, his ego shattered. When he came home, he flipped, face red with rage. "How could you be so careless?" he yelled. She apologized outwardly, but inside it felt like a quiet victory. The trophy had been his symbol of strength, now shattered like their marriage, a metaphor too perfect to ignore. This pushed things further, the unraveling accelerating. He blamed Sara for the ruin, using it as an excuse to stay out openly. No more pretense. The kids heard the fights, echoes down the hall. Emma drawing sad family pics, stick figures with frowns. Jack stopped his pretend hunts. The joy, gone. Sara's limits tested to the breaking point. She took a second job, night shifts cleaning offices, mopping floors under fluorescent lights to cover the debts. David didn't contribute more, too busy with Lisa. Then the bombshell. Sara found out Lisa was pregnant. The ultimate break. A knife twist, David confessed finally, defeated. Said he wanted a divorce to start a new family with her. Sara didn't fight, no explosions. Calm as a still lake, she agreed to split custody for the kids' sake. But wait, because here's where life stepped in, turning the tables in ways no one saw coming. After the divorce papers were signed, David and Lisa moved into a new place, happy at first, all glow and promises. Sara kept the house, full custody mostly, child support trickling in. She endured the pain, the lonely nights, focused on the kids with fierce determination, counseling sessions helping her rebuild routines, piece by piece. But David's life, it collapsed fast, like a house of cards in a gust. Debt from credit cards, maxed on fancy dates, the rifle he couldn't afford, a new truck on payments too steep. Without Sara to manage the finances, bills piled up, relentless. Lisa's pregnancy brought medical issues, complications that drained their accounts. She quit her job, adding pressure. David lost his position at the garage. Boss cited the affair as distracting, productivity down. Unemployment hit hard, no savings to cushion the fall. They fought constantly, accusations flying. Lisa threatened to leave, her dreams souring. Then illness struck. The tough guy who ignored chest pains for months, chalking it up to stress. Heart issues emerged, fueled by bad eating, endless worry. Hospital bills skyrocketed, no insurance to soften the blow. Debt collectors calling day and night. He sold his hunting gear to pay scraps. The baby came with more complications, NICU stays costing fortunes. Lisa left 6 months later, took the kid, sued for support in a messy court battle. David alone now, broke, sick, a shadow of the man he was. Sara watched from afar, through mutual friends, court updates. No gloating, no revenge plots, just quiet justice unfolding, life doing the work she couldn't. The climax came on a rainy night, thunder rumbling like distant warnings. David showed up at her door like a ghost, soaked and shivering, thin from stress, coughing raggedly, begged to see the kids. I messed up everything, he croaked, voice breaking. Sara let him in for a bit. Boundaries firm, no full reconciliation. He asked about the trophy, said he'd tried to fix it, glue and hope, but couldn't. It was gone, just like their old life. He broke down then, sobbing admissions of fault, regrets pouring out. Sara felt closure wash over her, a weight lifting. No revenge needed. Life had done it all, in its own time. Wrapping it up. Sara's story shows that enduring isn't weakness, it's a strategy, patient and powerful. She protected her kids, rebuilt her life brick by brick, watched from the sidelines as consequences caught up. Today, she's happy. Kids thriving, Emma's art-winning school awards, Jack back to playful adventures. Sara even dated a nice guy from the diner, kind and steady. David, he pays his debt in regret, lessons learned the hard way. So next time life throws you a curveball, remember, sometimes the best action is inaction. Let karma play its hand. You've got this. What's your takeaway? Share below and stick around for more stories that prove patience wins.